I don't want somebody to mandate what has to happen when it has to do with my body.
My body, my choice. You have to be educated, and you don't want to use abortion as a form of birth control. That's what scares me, that these kids taking a morning after pill, they don't realize what is inside their body and the repercussions.
Welcome to Girls Gone Gritty.
I'm Farley Boyle.
I'm Darian Boyle.
And I'm Jennifer Berenius.
Collectively, we're two sister-in-laws with our bestie.
We don't just talk, we do it. Day, night, mountain, beach, and city.
Get ready as we bring gratitude and attitude to everything we do.
We jump in head first, unafraid, and we're all in all the time.
We bring it on and get it on each week, diving deep into authentic, unscripted conversations
on just about everything. So, let's get gritty.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Don't wait until tomorrow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty. I'm Darian, sitting here with Jennifer and Farley on this lovely Thursday. We're going to tackle a very controversial issue. Are you pro-life? About abortion, topics that people really don't want to discuss. But first, we're going to make sure that you click and hit the subscribe button. Give us 2 thumbs up because we're always looking for some support on Girls Gone Gritty. Pass it on to your friends. We love it. We're going to tackle our top 3 headlines, which are always entertaining, inspiring. You might learn something. And our Got Grit winner, well, he had a fight with someone to protect his friends, and they both survived. And as always, we love finishing up with a happy, feel-good lyric of a song. Girls, how was your week?
It was great. We went to the U.S. Open. And I love this time of year where
Birthday
we're
celebrations.
celebrating birthdays and tennis and back to school. It's a great time of year.
It was fun when they were going back to elementary school and high school. It's sad when they're going back to college. But you know what? More time for us.
Yes.
Well, I'm back to elementary
Whoops,
school
I-
with the photo. Literally, we had the first day outfit like we talked about last week in our episode, with her smiling ear to ear. And you walk in and it's like you never left. It's fabulous. I love the end of summer. And Labor Day was beautiful. We didn't get the surf we wanted last week from Hurricane Erin, but thankfully everyone was safe. And I want to say happy birthday to you.
Some of us are very excited about our birthdays and some of us aren't. It is
We won't mention that.
we won't mention that.
We're not allowed to
person,
talk
but
about
we're
it.
happy that he was born, and he was born on Labor Day. So his mother was in labor giving birth to him, and his brother was born on my birthday. So if that's a little hint, you know exactly who we're talking about. Virgos are in the house.
She did.
And don't wish her a happy birthday.
Don't
Throw something at you.
yeah, don't plan anything, no plans. So anybody, you're not invited.
My
really is
mom is the same way, just so you know. And then if you don't throw her a party, she's like, wait, what do you mean we're not doing anything for my birthday?
It's a double-edged sword,
It's,
but
a sharp one.
it's a sharp one. I'm staying away.
Jen, what are these top 3 headlines this week?
All
I know
right.
they're really all over the place.
Number 3, honeybees no more. Now we have robotic cyborg bees, thanks to China's successful integration of tech and nature in nanoelectronics.
That's crazy. These real bees that have a 74 milligram chip on their back, like a surveillance device. All of a sudden, you're getting attacked by bees. Are they good? Are they bad? Do they produce honey? Do they pollinate? I have no idea. It's
They have
crazy.
stingers.
Yes.
If it was scientists that were doing it because they wanted to help refuel the bee population, then I would be for more information, no pun intended.
But they work off of an electrical current, and they're somehow tracked, I mean, with a remote control. So how does that help the environment? Because we need bees to live.
My kids said that a robotic bug landed on their lifeguard stand last year. They said it was a freaky looking tiny bug that was nondescript looking, and it sat there and it had weird robotic like motion, and then it flew away, and they felt like it was a drone bug of some sort.
Well,
Right.
robots are taking over the world. What's coming in
Anything's
at number
possible.
3?
Very true.
Number 2,
Two.
watch it, Swatch. The latest backlash happens for another insensitive, now racially, for an ad campaign for Swatch Watch.
People are babies. Get over it. It looks like he's holding his temples. He's an Asian man with his Swatch watch on. We'll upload a photo so that you can see the campaign. It looks like he has a headache, or he's thinking, or I didn't take it like he was trying to do any type of distorted thing with his eyes. But then again, I'm not Asian, so I
As I
don't
say,
know.
you're not Chinese.
Yeah. What's the motivation behind the ad? In China, they're saying that it's very racist. They had them pull the ad. They made Swatch do apologies, and they said, no, that's not a good enough apology because you've done this before.
Maybe they're looking at the American Eagle campaign and thinking, hey, people are talking about it. Maybe it'll spiral into something else.
Yeah.
Blue
No
jeans.
bad press.
Well, the problem is these global brands really have to think about how they want to portray their products because they're getting backlash if they're good, if they're bad. So you have to stay middle of the road or just be the ones that throw it out there and talk about it.
Yeah.
Like we're doing it.
It's working.
Again, yeah. All right. And number one, Annie, Grok's new female AI bot, created her and has an NSFW mode, a not safe for work mode, where she can wear lingerie, talk to you sexually, give you anything your heart desires. Yikes.
Ew, desperado. That's what I think. If you're turning to AI and you're looking at an AI bot and listening to her and she's getting your rocks off, I feel sorry for you. I really do.
Well,
I'm sorry.
It's a 22-year-old gothic anime girl with blonde pigtails, corset dress, thigh-high stockings. She talks naughty to you. It's real-time facial expressions. You can move and do different movements, and then she will mimic them. And the more you chat, the more features unlock. So you could get really naughty. And the problem is, this isn't your girlfriend. Get with it. Unfortunately, this growing trend of all these AI companions, it's futuristic, it's provocative, but it's wrong.
I saw a show on TV where you could go into a video game and get provocative as the character you're playing the video game as. You could pick whether you wanted to be a girl and you could be fighting against a guy, and then there could be chemistry, and all of a sudden they're having sex on the video game. Anything is possible. And I prefer real flesh.
They can't give you a, hey, how you doing? So, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe they can.
But the problem is that the science shows that your brain doesn't discern the difference. So be careful with all your chat GBTs and all your AI bots, because it's a slippery slope and they want to slip you right into craziness.
It all started with the blow up doll.
And guess what? This porn industry, I can't even imagine AI porn.
Well,
okay, no more.
It's coming. No more. We're going to dive into something that's going to keep you away from porn. It's our topic today, which is that really complicated one about the right to life and the right to choose. The reason that this is important to discuss, not only is it a controversial and charged subject, but it's important for us as parents, as children, as mothers to discuss, because if you have a child that just went off to college and they're in a different state, a lot of the southern states have a whole other set of rules on what the abortion rights are. And we think it's an important topic because it's a very personal and life-changing point in a lot of women's lives.
Roe versus Wade got turned over 2 years ago. If you know what that means you lost your choice. And if the state that you live in believes that you should still have a choice, then you could potentially get an abortion if you needed one. But if you can't, you're going across state lines and you're trying to figure it out, and you're made to feel like an illegal because
it's illegal.
It's illegal. So I don't like the way that feels. And as the mother of 3 daughters, I genuinely want them to feel like if a mistake were to happen, that they could communicate openly with me and that we could come to the safest decision that would be the right decision on behalf of that individual in that moment. That's what's scary. I don't want somebody to mandate what has to happen when it has to do with my body.
My body, my choice. You have to be educated, and you don't want to use abortion as a form of birth control. That's what scares me, that these kids taking a morning after pill, they don't realize what is inside their body and the repercussions. If they educate these children through high school, through grammar school, when they're going off to college, hey, this is real. This could change your whole entire life.
Being able to pop a pill in your mouth to make it go away is not a repercussion. You're not thinking about anything that is real. You know, it's a solution. It's like, oops, I'm going to take this pill and that's that. That should be mandated. I believe that the morning after pill needs to be given by a doctor instead of just being a pill that kids have in their drawer next to their bedside table.
That's an interesting point. I personally don't see a difference between birth control and morning after pill. But that has to do with the sanctity of life. To me, you're inhibiting something. You've had sex the night before in this example, and I take a morning after. I don't know I'm pregnant, and I wouldn't know I'm pregnant for several weeks. What I'm saying is, if I had a condom break, I'm going to protect myself just like I took the pill beforehand. I'm still having sex, just don't want the baby at this moment. So that's where I do think that the sanctity of life and the religious aspect gets really interesting, because if you take that stance, then the church doesn't believe in the pill either.
I thought the morning after pill was hard to get. When I first started hearing about it, back before I was married, it was just becoming a thing. So for me to go out and try to find an after, did you go to Planned Parenthood? I don't know where you would get it. As an adult now, I don't know where. But what I'm liking in it too is somebody that goes out and ODs and does all these drugs, but knows that the Narcan shot can be administered. At what point is there a repercussion? If you aren't taking ownership for behavior and you just can pop a pill in your mouth, you're not really learning a lesson, are you? I bet people have popped the morning after pill 100 times in there.
They have, and that it's all over. If you research it, it's crazy. People use it as birth control. They go get booty, woo, and they take it, and it's like no regrets.
That's but I think, because I've had friends on it, it literally is the morning after pill. So you
do
don't know.
To you by your OBGYN, or is it a pill that you go get black market?
I think you can go get it in the store. You could just go walk up and ask for the morning after pill, show your license, just like you do to get Sudafed better version.
Oh, so like a pharmacist.
Yeah, you go, a pharmacist gives it to you.
But to the point that that's changed, I don't know.
But I don't know.
This is where the state by state rules come into play. I was thinking more surgical. Now we've got the morning after. And then you also have like the term of which the baby will come to gestation when you're allowed in certain states. So the scalability of what is allowed in states is really what has changed with Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade gave access to abortion across the country. And now, because of the change 2 years ago that President Trump made, each state comes up with their own
over the counter.
It's New Jersey.
New Jersey's very liberal in their rules. My kids are in Florida. My nephew's in Alabama. And the complication with that comes back on our education piece. If you have a child who will come talk to you, I feel I would, I feel you would, but I don't know. They've never been put in that situation. You want them to be able to go get tools and resources where they live, where they work, where they're in school, whatever it have you.
Even says the availability of the emergency contraception may vary depending on the location. So if it's a state that's pro versus not,
correct.
You're traveling across state lines to go get that pill. You're traveling across state lines to go see a black market doctor, or maybe a black market doctor that's in your state that doesn't allow it. That's where it starts getting very scary. There's a market to be made.
Exactly.
And if there's a law that's preventing somebody, and we know that people are going to get pregnant by mistake, it just happens. And it's unfortunately here to stay. The fact that somebody might not be able to get an abortion because they aren't going to be responsible while this child is in gestation and being carried, whatever the reason is, there's so many reasons.
So many.
You just want that individual that's going to be responsible for this life that's growing inside of them to be able to make the choice that is in the best interest of the child, in the best interest of the parent, the mom. And I think that has to be left as a personal choice.
Well, and the other scary part, let's just take, for example, our children who are in college. They will not use your insurance. So to your point, they're going off market. They're going underground. They're going to find a way to come up with a couple hundred, couple thousand. I don't even know. And that's a scary thing, because now they're going to shop it to the cheapest. Who knows what that looks like in a state that doesn't allow.
It's very scary.
Well, some schools have an interesting way of preventing motherhood by giving the young teenagers babies that are lifelike babies. You know, the babies that we talked about in one of our shows that are so creepy real, and they have to carry them around for weeks and weeks and take care of these babies. You bring them to school, you bring them to the bathroom, you bring them everywhere. And it has been working. These teenagers going, oh, wow, I don't want that. It's too much responsibility. That's one way to alert these teenagers. One of my good friends, their daughter got pregnant, had the baby. She was a sophomore and she went through it. The most beautiful child you've ever seen. part of the family. The mom takes care of it. She's getting her GED, but you don't know. Life is, it's a decision she made. And I love this child.
When I was growing up, and we're all of the same age, I was scared to death about getting pregnant. My parents talked to me not about having sex, but about what happens if you get pregnant. You don't go to college, or you're not going to be able to be the athlete that you want to be. It was painted in a very negative way at that moment because my parents did not think that I could assume the responsibility at 16 years old to become a parent. And it wasn't ideal for me. I was terrified of it. We were talking about what age we think people are having sex now in high school, God forbid, middle school. I don't know the reality there. I think that the age is getting pushed later because people aren't having intimate relationships, or I could be wrong. The hookups, I'm not quite sure.
Swiping?
Depends.
My girls didn't have a boyfriend all throughout high school, so I wasn't ever really concerned about their sexual activity because it wasn't something that was factoring into their equations. My mom scared me so much. She looked at my friends. Now, granted, she was probably eavesdropping and reading notes and that I left behind. She knew who was becoming sexually active. She would tell me that, oh, you know what? She walks differently. I can tell that she's sexually active. And that scared me. So that kept me from going down that road.
My parents spoke to me very similarly. The language around which parents have talked to and continue to talk to their kids, largely the burden is borne on the female. And I have boys, and I try to instill on them that they're equally responsible for anything that would happen. Although that's not true, because the male can theoretically continue his life. He can continue playing sports. He can continue to go to college. And if he financially, emotionally does all the right supportive things, his life can seemingly go on unaffected. The female is not in that same situation. There is at least 10 months of her life that are impacted financially, emotionally, nutritionally, that she has to be responsible for. And if she does have the baby, it continues on. If they give the baby up for adoption, that's an emotional change that they'll have in their life forever, knowing they gave a baby up for adoption for whatever reason. So the complications for females are so significantly different than men. I'm always blown away that the men think they have a voice in this conversation.
Men don't have to take birth control pills. Even if you miss your pill one day and you don't double up, that can make you at risk of getting pregnant. Or if you're on a medication, let's say it's for acne, or you're traveling and you're taking malaria, there's things that can make the pill no longer work. How nice would it be if a guy had to wake up every day and think about it and take a pill?
They'd worry about the libido and what it would do down there. Because if you've ever had the conversation about getting snipped when you have to, after you have kids, 9 out of 10 of my friends, the man has refused to do the surgery, which is actually less invasive and has less complications than like myself, who had tubes tied because I had C-sections. They would have to have a vasectomy. And the men are like, oh, you can't touch it down there.
We didn't even get our dogs neutered. Yogi had the biggest friggin' nuts I've ever seen on a dog.
It's true. But it would be so nice if men actually had to think about it. Women take a pill every single day so that they don't get pregnant. That's what they're thinking. I don't want to get pregnant. I did the respectable thing and I saw a doctor and I'm on the pill and I'm taking something religiously because I'm trying to prevent this from happening. As a boy mom, are you going and buying boxes of condoms for your sons?
I am not, but I know my husband has those conversations because unfortunately I find them around, and thankfully they're in relationships, so I don't feel too terrible about that.
Are you going to be the mom that says to Dee, I think we should put you on the pill? But see, this is where you have to be able to.
No, I wasn't on it.
She's going to call you Aunt Farley.
No,
I went on the pill at a young age because my period was so heavy and I was an athlete and I was like volleyball in like little teeny tiny booty shorts bending over for a crowd. So I had a very legit excuse.
So there that is.
I know. Hey, now that was a nice one.
Well, when I played volleyball, you wore lycra looking cheerleading briefs. They look like a Speedo.
Yep.
And how am I wearing a pad or having a tampon string not hang out while I'm diving and trying to spike a ball?
I grew up with brothers, so it's like,
Please, when I went to their house, they didn't even have a trash can in the bathroom. You were supposed to mule your feminine products out of there. She kept her tampons in her sock drawer.
No.
So we're not going to go there. But here we are talking about being open and having a conversation with your child. Parents, getting your kids educated on, if you're going to take that step towards a sexual relationship, then you need to be responsible, which means condoms, which means taking the pill. That's this conversation that would hopefully eliminate an abortion from having to happen. You know, condoms break, IUDs get in the wrong spot. There's people that are taking a proactive stance at trying to be
Sexually responsible. And in that,
there's room for error, unfortunately.
and recognizing the fact that kids that are having sex that is unprotected and in this demographic that we're concerned about, their hormones and all of their endorphins and sexual attention. You can see it when they're just magnets to one another, and you can see the sexual energy.
What's going to happen?
It's
life.
there. It's there. And it's meant to be there because it's the age that people are meant to have children as human beings. So there is more than your child being a deviant sexually. So acknowledge when those things are happening.
It's like kids are going to drink in high school. They just are for the most part. If your kid isn't drinking in high school, then that's an anomaly. It's very rare. You want them to be prepared and equipped. What we're saying is don't be asleep at the wheel as a parent. Recognize that it's human nature to be sexually inquisitive, and sex is going to happen. And you have to have these conversations, whether they're uncomfortable, whether your kid doesn't want to hear it and they're like, la, 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 with their fingers in their ears. You want to shout over that and say, look, you know, if this is going to happen, I'm not going to get angry with you. I just want you to be prepared. And you don't want to assume that they're going to do it on their own. My mom did not take me to go get on the pill because of being sexually active. I don't know if it made her feel good that I was on the pill.
Probably.
And I did have a boyfriend. Did she talk to me about being sexually active? No, she did not. So I did not have a mom that communicated with me about what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. So I went off of my friends that were sexually active and I got my information from them. And that might not be the way you want your child to get educated.
And it might not be available to them either.
It might not the right way.
And based on where they reside, there are certain places that it's becoming more challenging to access these kinds of places, meaning Planned Parenthood. And
there's lingo out there that's been around for years, like the withdrawal method. I'm dating myself. Who the heck knows what all of this is now? But day after pills sounds like, hey, this is really easy. I don't even have to wear a rubber or whatever, and I can have sex and I can just pop this pill in my mouth. STDs are real too.
Exactly. You need to protect yourself on a lot of different levels. And the first step to protecting yourself is becoming educated and aware. Try and put yourself in a situation where if I had to do something, what would I do? And obviously it's a mental exercise for yourself, for your kid. Have the conversations, you know, in a setting and educate your people about what would be available to them when they live in Florida or Texas or California.
Where your kids are going to college. Take that into consideration. And if they're in a state that is not on board, you have to recognize that that could be a problem.
Or taking a job. Or like, people don't understand that Roe v. Wade changed a lot of things. And whether you agree with it, whether you're pro-choice, pro-life, that's not the issue here. It's more of being able to dive deep and go real on something that is a very real and defining moment, whatever decision you make. So, well, hopefully you've taken this information and you'll have a conversation with the people you love. That's all we want you to do here on Girls Gone Gritty. And I think we've got an amazing Got Grit winner this week.
Our Got Grit winner, probably one of the grittiest things I've read in a very long time. 2 college wrestlers were out in the woods hiking and being guys that were enthusiasts, taking it in. And one of the wrestlers got jumped by a bear. The friend that was witnessing it was horrified because this bear was eating him, like had his arm in his mouth and was tackled to the ground and the paws were out. And this kid decided that he was going to jump in, and his name is Kendall Cummings. They were in Shoshone National Forest in Cody, Wyoming. This happened back in October of 2022. The friend looked at the bear and went in a wrestling stance and charged him and fought the bear off of his friend. And so now he's the apple of the bear's eye and got bitten and shredded. But because he stood up to the bear, the bear lost interest and left them, and they lived to tell the story. So true friendship defined. This hero got involved. He was not afraid. He took a lot of lumps on behalf of saving his friend. Doing something is better than nothing. That kid could not watch his friend get mauled and decided, I'm strong, fierce, and I'm going to go for it. And it worked. So congratulations. Whoa. And I don't know that Kendall Cummings could be outdone in this arena.
No way. The photo, when you see the slashes on his face, what kind of bear was it?
Brady Lowry was his friend, and they were shed hunting in Wyoming's rugged Shoshone National Forest. And this grizzly ambushed them, ripping him to the ground and clawing at him. Without a second thought, Cummings leapt into action and sprinted at the bear, yelling, throwing rocks before grabbing it by its ear to pull its friend off and then actually wrestling him. So thank God you're both alive to tell the story, and we will share the images. And he is our God Grit winner of the week.
Good one. So Jennifer, do you have a song for us for this?
I have a fabulous song this week. I watch the sun go down like every one of us. I'm hoping that the dawn will bring a sign, a better place for those who come after us this time. Your higher power may be God or Jesus Christ. It doesn't matter much to me. Without each other's help, there ain't no hope for us. I'm living in a dream, a fantasy. Oh yeah, oh yeah. If it only could just find serenity, it would be nice if we could live as one. When all of this anger, hate, and bigotry be gone.
I love the lyrics.
I'm just a dreamer. I dream my life away. Today, I'm just a dreamer who dreams of better days. Oh, yay.
Dreamer?
And it's Dreamer, believe it or not, written by the late, great Ozzy Osbourne.
Isn't that I would never have thought that those would be his lyrics.
Yeah. So hats off to you, Ozzy.
I love my Ozzy.
He was amazing and has made such an impact. The King of Darkness.
King of Darkness.
And he shed so much more light than anyone ever really knew. So
those were not dark lyrics.
He was powerful, insightful, and our amazing song of the week.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next week. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Girls Gone Gritty. It was a very informative episode, and hopefully you educate your children about having safe sexual interactions. And don't forget to go on our social platforms, hit the subscribe button, give us some thumbs up, and we thank you so much for tuning in. And that's it, ladies. Another fun episode. Peace out.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty.
You can check us out on Instagram and Facebook.
If this episode hits home, share it with someone who needs to get gritty.
3 Gs. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.